All right. Hello, hello. Welcome. The Monday morning recap. Well, morning for us on the West Coast. Early afternoon, 2 p.m. ish East Coast. The morning recap. Little slow for me today. Few extra things going on. I'm sure, Taylor, you'll update me on the breaking news. I haven't seen the breaking news yet for the morning. Um, that SDFC game was fun. They won their playoff game, first year ever MLS. It was interesting. Obviously, it was fun. I mean, the atmosphere was good, and they do a nice job there. I mean, obviously, my seats were ridiculous. I mean, you know, as I'm streaming the football game from my little phone, sitting there in the seat, I'm sure it probably wasn't a good luck that you got these great seats and you keep staring at your phone screen, kind of deal. But all good.
Do you know how that playoff system works? So then it's pretty cool. So then now they have to go to Portland and play one, and then if it's the same score over there, then it's like a tie, and then they go to extra time. It's very interesting the way soccer does the aggregate scores and stuff. So,
Oh no, they're coming back for a game 3 if they win.
is that how they do soccer? Is that how they do MLS now? They must have changed.
That's
that.
what I heard the crowd.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, that's
but
different
for this round. But then the next round, it's a one game.
Yeah, that's when they do when it goes deeper in. Yeah. The first couple, though, I thought.
I don't understand it, but I do think it's fair. We'll get into the meat of the pod here in a second here. I think it was really bad for baseball to not offer the Padres. I get I'm a Padres homer. My son, no home playoff game. I get it. It's a 3-game series. You got to limit travel. Okay. But how do you not reward a home fan base with one home game? And this is what the MLS does. It gives you one home game for Portland, even though they're the lower seed, right? Mm-hmm. And it guaranteed San Diego one home game. Now, in the next round, if they get through, they may not. It's a one-off. They may not have home.
Yeah.
But it's fair to reward a fan base with one, and the Padres got 0 when they made the playoffs. My proposal, simple. I get it. You can't make it a 5-game series. You got 2 teams waiting in baseball. I get it. You want to start that next series on Friday, Saturday, right? And get going, right? Saturday and get going. I get it. But why can't you play, throughout the league, you play Sunday afternoon games except for one Sunday night baseball game. You play in the afternoon. Why? Because Sunday's getaway day. Either there are more times you play Sunday afternoon, travel, and play Monday, whether it's on the road or at home. Then that happens the vast majority of the time. Mm-hmm. It's not an off day on Monday. So why couldn't you have played the first game with the Cubs having the better record, the first game in San Diego on Monday, have Tuesday an off day to travel to Chicago, and play in Chicago Wednesday, Thursday? Now, if you want to argue that's a bigger home field advantage to the Padres, then let the team with the better record choose. You want game 2 and 3, or you want game 1? You pick. Right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
The only reason it doesn't work, and I ran this by Rick Sutcliffe, Cubs guy, obviously, and says, yeah, you want to know why it wouldn't work? He told me why. Baseball doesn't want to have any off days. A quiet Tuesday is no bueno. And then I thought of something else. You want a quiet Tuesday when the NFL's not playing, or you want to own Tuesday? You want off on Tuesday and go up against the NFL on Monday, or you want off on Monday and play Tuesday, Wednesday?
Nobody's there.
But it's not good for the fan base, but that's why they do that. But enough of that. Let's talk about injury stuff. Where do you want to start with?
Well, real quick, Doc, I want to talk about just the NBA betting situation that happened, because it does kind of lead into like what you were talking about with the Ravens a lot, right? Shams read a memo that was sent out today, just kind of explaining policies with injury reports, training, the education of all the personnel, et cetera. So it just reminds me of the Lamar Jackson situation, Doc. So tell me how significant.
There's a few levels here. Yes, First of all, I'm looking over my shoulder. I don't see I'm trying to reference Antonio Gates, right? He got caught up in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not trying to be a homer, and I will admit I have not talked to Gates about this, but I know Gates and these athletes. Okay. Let me just use me for an example. Okay. It was my twins' birthday. Dylan had her birthday party. Davis had that Padre thing a while ago. 13th birthday. Do you know what I got them for their birthday? I wasn't sure until they opened their gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Wife took care of it.
Yeah.
Dylan had a sleepover at our beach place with some friends. They were doing a craft. They brought things. I didn't know what the craft was. I knew they were doing a craft, but I didn't know they were making phone cases and whatever, the girls.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. Okay. I'm just saying, just because Antonio Gates hosted a poker playing thing, he may have been one of the marks himself.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Or the guys might have said, if you let us use your name, we'll give you $10,000 or $50,000 or whatever. And that'll be rent for your house or wherever you're staying. And you don't need to do anything. We'll bring you everything. Okay. Do you think Antonio Gates knows what? Do you think Antonio Gates, when he hosted that, do you think he paid for the bartender? Do you think he knows what kind of food was served there? You know, they had some food there. Do you think he knows who the caterer was?
It was just his house, if anything. That's it.
It was just his house. And
right.
It was, I'll take care of it all. And he's like, great. I mean, my wife, I got it. You just need to show up here. You just need to get the party bus here. Right? You get what I mean? So I would be shocked if Antonio Gates was so granular as to know, okay, his Hall of Fame was awesome, but he had people arranging the buses and the reservations and who needed tickets and email. He didn't get involved in any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if someone got left off the list, it wasn't, or didn't get the best seat, it wasn't because Gates sat you at a different place. It was because the way the tickets worked out. Like, he's not micromanaging that. So I could see him hosting. I see it as a bad look. He probably, I don't know, probably got paid a little money, right? And he's like, okay, cool. You bring everything. You give me 20 grand. Good. I'm good. He doesn't know that they were cheating people. He didn't know it was illegal in that sense. Now, I mean, look, I'm not a big poker player. I went to someone's house recently just because the guys to play poker. He could have had it rigged. I wouldn't have known. And we weren't betting enough money to have it be rigged. But
you wouldn't know.
I mean, like, people have private poker games all the time. It's among friends. Just like, you bet friends all the time before a pass bus, right? I mean, you bet friends. It wasn't illegal, right? Anyways, I hope that's the case for Antonio Gates. But now here's my solution.
Well, I want to add something real quick to that, Doc. There is actually part of that report. There's multiple houses that they said were used, including Kylie Jenner's house. So it does sound like, from what you're saying, like Kylie Jenner wasn't involved in any of this poker playing, but it's like they're utilizing these penthouses and these nice houses to host the thing. But they don't.
Yes, and then it adds cachet. It's Antonio Gates' house. It's Kylie Jenner's house.
Correct.
And they pay him a fee to host it there. Meanwhile, they know they're going to make money because they're cheating the system, right? And so it's the cost of doing. It's like paying off Terry Rozier for the under, right? Now, my simple solution for this, look, I am not for all-out gambling. What I think the simple solution, instead of saying no props, right? And some people say no props, it's too easy. You still can shave points on games, but it's harder. It's harder.
Yeah.
How about just getting rid of individual under props? Right? And in other words, you can only bet the over. Right? Doesn't that take away the I know I'm tapping out in the first quarter? And that's something you have complete control of. Right? That's just a thought. But to me, the danger is when you're gambling. Look, when I go to Las Vegas, I don't go that often. When I go, I play a little bit, not much. I bring cash with me. I don't ever take a line of credit from the casino. I don't know how to, and I don't want to.
Right.
I'm not betting that much money, but it's fun, right? I bring some money with me, and if I lose it all, I'm done. I'm not going to the cash machine or whatever, taking out more money. I can afford to lose that much money for entertainment. Hopefully I don't. But I think where you get in trouble is potentially when you have credit lines.
Yep.
That's when you get in trouble with bookies and whatever. And the way these gambling places are working now, you got to deposit money to bet money, which is a big thing against futures. I mean, you got to have a lot of money tied up all season.
And put money down. Yep. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Actual hard money.
Mm-hmm.
The bookie system is where it gets dangerous because you're like, oh, I'm chasing. And then all of a sudden, you don't have money for rent or for groceries. Bad. If you're putting money into these accounts, it's play money.
Yes.
Right. And you have to know that you could lose it.
You can control the flow.
I'm not a big gambling advocate in the sense that I live in California. I don't play any of these sports wagers because I follow the laws, even though everyone can now and what have you. You get what I mean? I think the safety is not betting on credit. Betting on hard cash, I think, gives you the level of safety because you're not betting. No one's taking rent money to Vegas with them and betting it, right? Sane people aren't. You get in trouble with the credit part.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I want to show you something. Just if you go to FanDuel Sportsbook real quick, you can kind of see what you're talking about. This is everybody's points. You go 10 plus, 20 plus. This is only overs. You can only bet the overs here, right? Because it's 10 plus points, 20 plus points, 25. The over under is not to the bottom. So it looks like, and those used to be on the top, Doc. So it looks like they're starting to gravitate towards that they don't want you to do those over unders where it's clearly you can like manipulate the system. They just want you to bet, are you going to get 10 plus points? This point, like that's the better system that you kind of are alluding to, I think.
Well, look, and the other thing is people have to realize if the average Terry Rozier prop wager for a company is aggregate $10,000, and now they have $50,000 on it,
it's easy to flag. Yeah,
and you tap out.
Come on.
And you don't think the companies are reporting them to the FBI because they're like they stole money from us? And
absolutely.
I don't know. And look, gamble, don't gamble. It's fine. And I never want anyone to gamble what they can't afford to lose. Ever. Right? But it's entertainment. Look, let's not do prohibition.
Yes. That's a good way. Yeah.
Like drinking alcohol shouldn't be illegal. Drinking and driving should be, right? And, and over serving someone should be, and, whatever. Enough said. Now, back to the main issue here. I didn't mean to digress.
Lamar Jackson, lead it to the Lamar Jackson, the practice reports. That was what I was, getting to.
Okay, let me give you the latest. So we know he practiced in full, and John Harbaugh is saying, well, he fully practiced scout team. We made a mistake. It was an error. And John Harbaugh said, well, I don't really do that. The athletic trainers and PR do that. Let me give you my experience in the NFL. I, as a doctor, was never involved in a practice report. Why? I'm not at practice. I only come at the end.
Right.
Okay. Who issues the practice report? PR. Okay. That's who issues. That's their job. But they're not creating the words of the practice report.
Right.
Depending on the team, it is indeed sometimes the head athletic trainer. The head athletic trainer knows the rules. The head coaches all know the rules. In my experience, if the head coach wasn't actually writing the statuses, they do go across his desk before they get put out. Okay. So is it possible John Harbaugh has the athletic trainer do it and there was an honest mistake and he didn't see it? I guess.
Yeah. Possibility. Yeah.
I mean, look, they're going to get fined. It'll be okay.
Right.
He is right. Was it really this huge competitive advantage? I don't think so. I mean, is because by the time the report was issued, the Bears were done for practices for the week other than a Saturday walkthrough. So what were they really changing? Do you really honestly think they didn't prepare for Lamar or at all? Right. Or because of the full practice, now we're only preparing for Lamar? No, they did a little both. They prepared more for Lamar than not all week long because he was already LP. Right. And they were coming off a bye. I'll bet you 80 to 90% of their preparation was for Lamar because it's Lamar. Okay. I mean, and in all fairness, it's not Lamar and then Cooper Rush. It's Lamar and Snoop Huntley, which more similar in terms of styles of play. And Snoop still ran for some yards. Anyways, but it is germane to the betting lines, which the NFL will not want to see. And this is why the Ravens will be fined. They made a clear error. And I'm not pinning it on just John Harbaugh. The team made a clear error because it spells it out that if you take one scout team rep and you're a starter, basically, that's the definition of limited practice. You can't be, quote, full practice. But what it does mean, and let's talk
start the rundown. You can do it. Yes.
Thursday, Lamar is playing.
Yes.
How can you justify a player that did everything you asked of him fully in scout team, but can't play in an NFL game? Now, admittedly, that was just one day on Friday. He was limited before. He's playing on Thursday.
That's big news. And that's like you said, that's the reason why they did that a little bit was to kind of push him in the right direction. Maybe Harbaugh has a game. It's not just him making a mistake or something.
Well, look, that's conjecture. I mean,
yes, for sure. Yeah.
I think Harbaugh is a master motivator in many different ways. We've dissected John Harbaugh over the years and his coach speak. We talked about poker. He's a really good poker player. Sometimes he's not bluffing and he's telling you everything. And sometimes he's bluffing. And a good poker player, you don't know when they're bluffing or not bluffing. And that's John Harbaugh. He would be a very good poker player. We've seen him lie, makes it sound like it's bad. We've seen him coach speak way when it's this way. And we've also seen him tell it exactly like it is sometimes. And we've seen him tell it not like it is sometimes. So when you do that and you mix it up, you don't know if that poker player is bluffing or has the hand, right?
They're doing a good job then, right?
His job.
Right.
I'm not being critical of John Harbaugh. Right. He's doing his job. But I don't think it's accidental is all.
All right, Doc, so start jumping in these rundown real quick. We had a lot of pregame stuff we were talking about before. First one, big news. What you've already said already was the Puka Nacua situation. He's expected to be back week 9. Is that along with your thoughts that we said prior to the bye?
Yes. Thumbs up. The Gladiator again. Thumbs up. Puka. I think
I got to clip that because that was you answered all our quarterback questions last spot. I know we got to put that out there. But speaking of one of the quarterbacks, Bryce Young, they said he's having a running session today, and Canales says he's expected to practice Wednesday. Is that also in line with your?
Yeah, for Bryce Young, I remember doing this, not this. Like, yes, I believe he is this, not this, but certainly not this or this. But he's like this. That's where he's going. Yes.
It's funny, like when you're always right all the time. So when I say this stuff, you're like, this confirms what your thoughts, but this is one of those weeks, maybe we always have our losses, we have our wrongs. The one I do want to mention is Judkins. What you saw in video has come to light, correct?
Yeah. AC joint, and they have a bye, which puts him in really good stead to play the next week. If he needs an injection, he can play with an injection. And I think Judkins is, like this, like maybe like that, but like I'll just go on a limb. He's gonna play in 2 weeks.
And speaking just injections, there's no official update on Flacco, but you were guessing or analysis wise that he might have taken an injection.
So
Yeah.
So what did he go to the locker room for?
Right.
An X-ray? Possible. Different padding? Possible. But you could do that in the tent. Okay. I guess you could argue you can do an injection in the tent, but you probably get an X-ray just to make sure there's no chip fracture before you inject it. And he came back and played that final drive to try and win the game. So it's possible he's a mild AC joint sprain that he got injected. Okay, that's it. That doesn't mean I still think he's going to play this next week. You just might see him limited or a DNP in practice, but he's clearly the starter. And bigger news, they lost the game, so they fell. They're 3-5 now instead of being at 4-4.
Right.
However, I think it's notable that Burrow was without a boot on the sideline.
The one thing I want to mention is a couple podcasts where you were always saying the Ravens weren't fully out of it. Remember that those injuries were going to come back. We're still waiting on Lamar, obviously, but it's expected Thursday. They're now favorites to win the division again. That was something that you said about 4 or 5 weeks ago. You said they were kind of playing the waiting game to this point. It looks like that's come to fruition, right? So
well, they're the favorites. I did not know that. Now
they just became the favorites. Yes, yeah.
I guess other teams lost, right? So
basically, yeah. So, Doc, just we did speak about Puka just now. 21 seconds after that, Schefter said expected to play Sunday. So I want to say hi, Adam Schefter, but I don't know if he's watching or not. I just thought that was funny.
Oh, no, Adam.
he posted right after. I was just making a joke. He's off.
Adam is awesome. Adam has sources. Our only sources are eyes, ears, and brains and analysis. We don't do injury reporting. We do injury analysis. Schefter doesn't do injury analysis. He does injury reporting. He's great at what he does, as well as Rap Sheet and Jordan Schultz and Ari and all these. They're reporting. But Schefter and Rap Sheet have really good sources. Mike Garofalo has good sources. They're all source reporters. They do a good job.
Just one breaking news. We've always been very low on Miami this year due to their defensive issues, including their secondary, Doc. Storm Duck, one of our favorite names in NFL, he suffered an ankle injury week 1, was on IR for 6-7 weeks. He just came back last game. He just suffered a season-ending knee injury, Doc. So that's a big one.
It was a season-ending. We looked at video. We just saw him on the ground. We didn't see it. We were waiting for the all-22. So now they said season-ending. Okay. Too bad for him. Now, the other thing there is a lot was made of Tua's eye before the game. Yeah. I think his eye is fine, right? That was the illness he had.
Performance.
Yeah, the left eye. And he was 20 of 26, 205 yards, 7.9 yards per pass, which is okay. 4 TDs, rating of 138.6. One of his, I think, clearly
his best game of the year. Yeah.
Best game all season so far, right?
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what we said ahead of time. The eye isn't going to be an issue.
So there's talks about Omarion Hampton is not close. We didn't see, remember with the high ankle, we looked at more. Someone was asking a chat, could you rewatch the Omarion Hampton to see if there's more, if it was more significant, maybe a fracture? There's speculation because he's on the IR for so long. What are your thoughts on the whole situation on the Chargers running back?
Well, what I remember there is we didn't see as much. We didn't anticipate the IR, but yes, we can go back and rewatch it and have the boys get me the video, and I'm more than happy to go back and rewatch it. But yeah, I mean, that one, we say when we're quote right, but that one I underestimated.
Yeah, he's saying that there might have been something on the other ankle too, because it looks like both were hurt pretty bad. But yeah, we'll definitely go back and look at that for sure.
We'll go back and look at it. Yeah, I mean, if he's still in a boot, he's not close, right? And that's certainly the part of the key. Okay.
Next one on the chat. There's no official update, Doc, but tell me, just reverberate what you said about Patrick Surtain through video and analysis.
Oh, Patrick Surtain. The ankle leg seemed okay. He returned to play from that. But the left shoulder is a worry, is a pec, is the belief. I cannot tell off a video if it's a pec muscle strain, which means weeks and potentially play through short-term absence, versus a pec tendon tear, which would mean surgery and a prolonged absence, maybe playoff return, maybe. But that's one of the bigger pieces of news that we're waiting for right now.
One update on we've been really down on the entire running back room for the Texans all year. We had Evan Silva on the podcast in the offseason. He shared some of the information he heard about the situation, speculation, obviously, no, it's nothing official. D'Amico Ryans today was asked about Joe Mixon's ankle and such. He had an update, and he just said just tersely, I do not. So that just goes more into the situation you said about the NFI, right? You don't put a player that is a veteran or you have some kind of like standing with, right? Just
the story still doesn't make sense, but it will when finally the news comes out why. Mm-hmm. All Houston's actions will make sense. Nobody makes dumb moves. It just looks questionable when you don't have all the facts, and we don't have all the facts, but we knew something was up when he got put on NFI, and I didn't know it was up to this extent, right?
Right. He might not play this year. We didn't know. We didn't see that.
And the point is, why the NFI? And I don't know the circumstances yet, but if it really holds up and there's no grievance, they're not paying him for this year because of the NFI.
Right.
If he was on IR, they would be paying him for the year. He is not going to be paid for the year, or the door is open for him to not be paid this year because of NFI.
One of the big ones, Doc, rookie, I don't know if we saw the video, rookie linebacker for the Browns. He's their leading tackle. Carson, I couldn't even possibly say his name. He has a high ankle injury from a linebacker, middle linebacker, moving side to side. That's a big deal, correct?
Yeah, to go sideline to sideline. He got rolled up on, I believe it was friendly fire. Someone got thrown into his legs, the back of his legs.
Doc, just before we end this, I do want to take a quick pause and mention the passings of both Nick Mangold and George Atkinson from the Raiders. Those happened over the weekend. You saw Mangold post, his letter about his situation, and it got circulated over social media. It just happened so quick. And the Raiders, George Atkinson just happened this weekend too. So.
Yeah, I mean, the Mangold one hit me a little hard because it was during a pregame injury chat. I didn't see the news.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know you. Yeah, that was it.
And all of a sudden, it was R.I.P. Nick Mangold, and I was like, "Oh, that's a lot. He's getting a kidney transplant or needed one, right?"
Right.
Now, here's the thing. This is why we should always reserve judgment. I saw some people, some chatter, until you know the whole story, right? I saw some chatter related to Nick Mangold. Why is he asking for a donor publicly? Is that right or wrong? I mean, to use his fame or celebrity to try and jump a donor line kind of thing, or I don't know what the deal was. I saw some chatter about that.
Yeah, I did see that as well. Yeah.
And the bottom line is, I had usually if a kidney, and I don't know what organ, I thought it was kidney. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. I don't know what organ transplant he needed, but usually with kidney, I don't know why I assumed it was kidney. Was it kidney? Was he asking for a kidney?
I'm going to look real quick. Yeah, I'm going to look real quick.
I don't remember.
It was kidney. It was kidney. Yeah.
Usually dialysis can sustain you for a while, right? It's not fun, but usually it can. And so I don't blame him one bit. And I think anyone who said to him, why are you using your celebrity to maybe get jumped online? If he was on his deathbed, I wouldn't blame him. And look, was it him or was it his family? Right. I mean, maybe his family did it, right? I mean, it might have not even been Nick. And Nick might have said, nah, I'm not doing that. But his family goes, no, we need to do everything we can to find you a donor, right? And so don't presume. Don't presume until you know all of the facts on everything that's going on.
Carson Schwesinger. Okay, I just need to make sure I said it. I don't want to.
All right, sounds good.
Yes, but yeah, anything that updates, more is going to come out throughout the day, Doc. And SIC Insights, we'll have them on sickscore.com. Just mention SIC Picks real quick. We did in clarity, the guaranteed pick did not hit, but we still had a winning weekend. A lot of our other picks hit. Totals 3-0. So we'll get back on the road on that one. But yeah.
But we'd made a mistake there. Our strongest numbers play was Houston. And somehow, I don't know how we ended off of that one. I mean, we still took it as part of the SIC Picks, but I don't know why that wasn't our guarantee. That was our strongest numbers play, Houston. And I don't know. This is why I say we got to get out of our minds. Blind the name of the team. Okay, Houston was bad last week. Okay, fine, but let's blind the name of the team.
Week to week.
What else? All good. And one other topic.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to go there. Let's just let it go.
Okay. You don't want to. I don't want to either.
Well, all right. This is bad tease. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, let me just say it again. I put out a short video, 1 minute, on Mr. Leaf. I don't wish him ill will. As a matter of fact, he quote tweeted that Ross Tucker thing, and I talked to Ross about it. Ross reached out to him previously when he did it the first time, and said, I hope Ross doesn't care that I say this. I don't think he will. He said to Ryan, you want to come on my podcast and talk about it with Chow? Mm-hmm. Ross told me he refused. I'd go on Ross's podcast and speak to Ryan. I don't have ill will. And there's clearly some misunderstanding in terms of what it is. Maybe I have wronged him in some way that I'm not aware of. But I haven't seen Ryan. I mean, look, Ryan was in the late 90s. I mean, when he was drafted, I don't think he's been with the San Diego Chargers for over 2 decades. I don't know. It is what it is. I wish him well. Recovery from addiction is tough. It's lifelong. Look, I can't talk specifically because he hasn't waived HIPAA, but it's known that he's had surgery. And look, yes, to this day, I do offer pain pills to patients who have surgery, a limited quantity, but I do. I would, and they say, look, I say I'm going to put it into the pharmacy, and if you have pain, if you decide not to pick it up, that's fine. But I put it into the pharmacy because what if you're hurting at night and you're trying to get a hold of me? I want you to be able to have
soft
pain medicine.
Right.
And I do try and use non-narcotic pain medicine, but it is what it is. I don't want to go there. I'm good with whatever. And,
you had the video too that said a lot what you're trying to say.
That's it. I'm trying to, you guys are telling me there was more. And I'm like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
If the only reason it drove me to respond and even talking about it here is I don't have anything to hide related to that relationship. And I have a lot more to say. I won't go there. But the main reason, as I said, is my kids turned 13. They, at school, their friends ask them about me. Sometimes, not all friends, some friends. Yeah. Obviously, the boys probably, right? Because of football and fantasy. Your dad's this, that, the other. And that's why I tried to address it a little bit, because I didn't, if I didn't address it at all, it would make assumptions become true. I tried to ignore it for a long time. I was like, it's just not worth my time to get into the morass like that. But I mean, hopefully we can all move on. Ryan has a post that's pinned to his Twitter page that, 13 years ago, he hit rock bottom. It looks like he's got a beautiful family and what have you. Go enjoy your beautiful family. Keep on your recovery road with whatever. And, my line about personal responsibility wasn't a shot. It's just a fact. Personal responsibility is how you help get through how we should deal in everyday life, have personal responsibility. It wasn't a shot in any way. It was just a statement of fact. All right. Didn't want to end that.
You're good.
I guess no pun intended. So sorry. All right. Anything else? We're good. No other breaking news.
Yeah, just make sure. Yeah, when anything comes out later today, we'll have insights on SICScore.com. All right.
And I'll be watching the game. I might have baseball duty with my son again. We'll see. I might be streaming at the baseball field at his practice for tonight's game. And there is a play.
Thank you. Real quick. Yes, SIC Picks. Yes, there is a big play today. So yeah, jump on that if you want.
All right.
Like and subscribe, Doc. Thank you so much. We'll end it here.
All right. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.